the importance of the consultative advisory group to the IPSASB, which obviously is a platform to collect broader views and public interest perspectives to be funneled into the discussion of the IPSASB. Actually, it's a two-way communication approach. It's consulting, so the board is consulting the CAG on one side on issues they are interested in, but also the CAG proactively is giving advice to the IPSAS board in all issues where they think it's important. Then obviously, for that reason, it is very important to have as broad coverage of perspectives as possible and to include as much geographical and functional stakeholder perspectives as possible. And this is why we really look after having a balance of functions and geographies. Functions to speak about preparers and users, speak about regulating bodies, speak about parliamentarians, but also speak about auditors in the private and the public sector. We are at the moment at a membership level of 22, and we have just decided to increase membership to 27 in order to reach this broader functional and geographical coverage. It is not an equal representation of all continents. We have a coverage of all continents, but obviously we are looking to kind of optimize the balance in order to get more perspectives from Asia, Latin America, and Africa to the CAG. Gender equality or gender balance is an issue which we carefully look after. At the moment, we haven't reached a parity, I have to say, but we are still working on that and closely looking after that. Talking about priorities, it is very important to kind of distinguish between three priorities we have. The first priority, having reached the end of the first term of the members, which is a 3-year term, and obviously the CAG is existing now for 3 years, was to improve and increase membership and to get the balances from a geographical but also from a functional and gender perspectives improved. That was the first priority. The second priority obviously is to provide the board with experiences from implementation projects all over the world and developments which are going on the technology side of things, talking about blockchain, for instance, or robot process automation. So these are two very important priorities. In terms of project priorities, where you were talking about, I think we have to distinguish that we select the projects where we set our priorities based on two issues. The first is what is the most relevant project from a public sector accounting perspective for stakeholders outside. And second is what are critical projects in terms of project management or communication to the outside world, to the constituents where probably our advice is needed. And an example or examples for the first part and the first selection criteria would be social benefits, would be revenue, and would be non-exchange expenses. Social benefits, to some extent, is also a good example for being a critical project in terms of how to communicate the decided solution and approach to the outside world. But leases and leasing is also a project where we provided input and advice given on the very heterogeneous feedback which we received as a board from constituents outside. So this is really kind of the function of the CAG to provide more confidence and broader insights into decision-making process of the board.